Hey everybody, it's John here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Garou, Mark of the Wolves, grabbing the Hunter achievement. This is to clear survival mode. So what you want to do is you want to pick Grant. To do that, you want to just be on the first character, who is Rock, I believe, and then just hit left once to access this hidden character. So survival mode works just like arcade mode, except you have to fight all 14 fighters in the game, but you have to do it on one life bar. But another difference is the enemies will drop power-ups the more you hit them. As long as you land a clean hit on them, they should drop a power-up. So any hit that they don't block or take chip damage from should drop a bubble. The bubble will give you either power, which fills up your special bar. It will give you time, which is completely useless. That'll fill up the timer. Doesn't really matter because the timer resets pretty frequently, because the time is the most frequent thing. I've never gone under 50 seconds, so you pretty much don't need them. But the most important one is going to be life, which are going to be the L's, and those will heal you up, and those are the ones you want to look out for. So if an enemy drops an L from really far away, make sure you go after it, because those are super valuable, especially later on. But anyways, so with Grant, you want to use basically the cheesing move we did from the arcade run. So that's going to be quarter circle and then low kick. We're going to use A. In the arcade one, we used B, which is the stronger version. However, since we're trying to get power-ups right here, we are going to use the A button one. So my best advice is to get your opponent in the corner and then just keep using quarter circle forward L. And they should drop some bubbles every now and again, which you could pick up to fill up your special meter. Whenever your special meter is full, you want to use your special, which should do a ton of damage if it connects. If not, the enemy will take chip damage, which is still good. So we are basically going to chip them out. So you just want to keep forcing them into the corner and keep forcing them to block while spamming that move. And if they back out, remember to throw some mix-ups in there and get them to a spot where you can constantly abuse this move. Like if they jump over you, just keep the forward pressure, keep them blocking, and hope they drop life power-ups. And that's my best advice for this. This should get you through a lot of the first half of the fights. The latter half, you definitely have to throw in more mix-ups, because they start throwing in some of the tougher enemies in there. I believe the first 10 or so fights are random, and the last 4 are going to be all the bosses and stuff. So just keep the forward pressure on here. Even if you're down to a sliver of health, you can still hope for a life power-up or a couple. Another type of power-up that starts dropping in the middle rounds is going to be the skull, and those will drop your health, so try to avoid those. However, your enemy can also pick up power-ups, which will do the same effect. So as you can see, we're on stage 6 right here, and we managed to get a life power-up, which boosts us up quite a bit, but always remember that forward pressure, and whenever you can, use your special when you're in a pinch, because that thing is a lifesaver. So here we are on fight number 7 right here. Even with guys like this, I just want to keep the forward pressure and hope for those life power-ups. Pick them up and you should be good, and that should get us to a point where you can do some more damage, and the special helps equalize the field, and that should send a ton of power-ups out if you connect a clean hit. So as you can see right there, we are back up to full health and are through half the game. You should get an achievement for reaching the halfway point for 10 gamer score. And we can start the second half, which gets a lot tougher, as you can see here. But the strategy is going to be the same: quarter circle forward and then the A button, which is the quick one, and throwing out some specials every time we can to chip the enemy out. And if they jump over you, just keep the forward pressure, throw in some mix-ups every now and again, and always abuse the special. But you gotta be careful with it sometimes, because sometimes the enemy falls back and picks up all the power-up bubbles, which you know, is meant for us. But sadly, they use the power-ups that we need. Alright, so you got this guy right here, Rock. He's kind of a pain, because he always tries to ground your forward game, so just try to rush him. He's going to block a lot, but just keep the pressure on him, and eventually his guard will break, or he will do something stupid like jump, and in that moment you want to use your special. Definitely, that's when this dude's most vulnerable, but this guy definitely gave me the most trouble in my 3 attempts at getting this achievement. But his weak spot is whenever he jumps, you just want to unleash your special. and just keep the forward pressure on, and eventually he should go down. Easy peasy. There we go. Alright, you got Terry right now, who is a big bulky defender. I like getting him early on, simply because he's not a huge hassle. He blocks a lot and likes to throw out that shockwave, which, you know, sucks. But once again, forward pressure. Try to get used to doing the quarter circle forward in both directions. I know it's a little tough to do it on the left side, but you know, practice makes perfect. And you should probably be used to this after going through arcade mode twice to get both of those achievements. So just keep getting this. In my opinion, this is way easier than arcade mode, simply because you know, you can take some damage and the enemies drop stuff that can heal you, but it's all kind of random. So here we are, stage 11 right now. Gonna need this one and 3 more fights, but that combo right there, even if they jump up and you don't land too many hits on them, but you can still get a good juggle on, any hits are good hits because they can always drop power-ups, which will help out. So right now we're down to a sliver, but as you can see, life power-ups will always even out the odds. So here we go. Got this girl right now. So once again, forward pressure, throw out the combo. Even if they block it, chip damage will always help. And it's all about spacing. And always go for life power-ups. They're worth the risk. And use those combos. I recommend using them as frequently as possible, simply because the enemies drop a lot of the power orbs. But as you can see here, we are on stage 12, and that strategy is still working. That quarter circle forward A. And now we are in Grant, so just going to keep cheesing the enemy right here. And this dude especially, the last 2 bosses, their weakness is clearly this move, because you can just keep doing it. As long as you know the timing, they shouldn't beat you at all. So as long as you just keep the forward pressure, don't let them attack you, because these guys do hit hard. You can take them down, super duper easy peasy. And just gonna kick him, keep the forward pressure, always forward pressure. If it still works even this late into survival. And now we have the final boss. Now this is very important that you do the A move here, because the B move, he really has a good opportunity to block that. So just keep the forward pressure on him. Make sure you leave as little space as possible, because this guy likes to throw fireballs, and it would be a shame to make it this far and get KO'd. So just gonna keep the forward pressure on him and not give him any space at all to stand up and throw his fireballs. Just once he stands up, just throw out your quarter circle forward. And if you ever run into a pinch, you can always use that short hop kick with the left trigger. And as you can see, we're gonna use a combo to finish him off. Super duper easy peasy, as long as you abuse that one move and hope for life drops. So that's survival mode, and there's the achievement, 30 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.